The Health and Wellness Expo took place today, and Jasmine Megan shows us a look at what it had to offer.
The Health and Wellness Expo offered health resources and activities, and it even featured a school supply giveaway. Katrina Branson, the host of the Expo, says the purpose of the event was to educate the community on physical and mental health wellness and introduce them to options that are available to them. The Expo featured health screenings from certified physicians, yoga, chair massages, art sessions, and much more.
The illnesses and the sicknesses that are happening in our communities, we're providing health screenings, your blood pressure, your cholesterol. We're focusing on men's health and breast health. So those types of conditions, we know that if we prevent them from happening, it can save us in the long run.
At 10, we'll hear from the host of the Expo's fashion show on how he thinks this event benefits the community.